Shalom. All praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Racha, Kwadash. Double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, beginning with the 144,000 prophets, and Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, willing. This lesson is edifying and informative. 2 Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. In the news from Dabu 77. And we are off with a bang to start off the new year, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Huge 7.6 magnitude earthquake rocks Japan. Evacuations ordered as over 40 quakes strike western coastline.
And this is Dabu 7. We have had a massive 7.5, 7.6 earthquake strike off the coast of Japan. This is reminiscent of what happened back in 2011. There was a tsunami warning issued initially here. It has been retracted, although an alert is still out there, and they are telling folks not to return home if you live on the coast in Japan here where this quake hit. They feel that some of these tsunami waves could still come in and cause damage. This is the Ishikawa prefecture. Many homes damaged in this. Many buildings damaged. Lights out for tens of thousands of people. And as of right now, this is a look at some of the damage that has been done. You can see roadways completely buckled and snapped in half here. Homes have crumbled. You can see other parts of roadways have just given away. People trapped, and rescue efforts are ongoing. So this is an ongoing situation. There has been over 40 major earthquakes strike in this area on the western side of Japan. This is opposite of where we saw the quakes in 2011. Nonetheless, Japan susceptible to letting off these big quakes, and you can see here, this is right off of where we have a cut going right through Japan. But this is some of the latest. Wanted to make people aware of the issue. I will continue to update as I get information. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for more, and hit that subscribe button as well. This has been Dabu7. Much love, y'all.
In reading the description, Japan dropped its highest level tsunami alert, issued following a series of major earthquakes on Monday, but told residents of coastal areas not to return to their homes, as deadly waves could still come. The quakes, the largest of which had a magnitude of 7.6, started a fire and collapsed buildings on the west coast of Japan's main island, Honshu. It was unclear how many people might have been killed or hurt. The Japan Meteorological Agency, or Meteorological, excuse me, if I pronounce that correctly, agency reported more than a dozen quakes in the Japan Sea off the coast of Ishikawa and nearby prefectures shortly after 4 p.m. This concludes the Dabu 77 news report. This is another example of earthquakes in diverse places, which is a part of the signs that the highest Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, will soon visit the world which he made. In other reports from the RT, reunification with Taiwan is inevitable. Recently, the U.S. and Chinese presidents had their first meeting face-to-face after a while, and one of the topics of discussion between the two was Taiwan. Certain agreements were made, but now the Chinese president makes comments saying that he vows, or rather, reunification with Taiwan is inevitable, as the title states. The Chinese president's comments come after he vowed to prevent the island's secession by any means. So China obviously has an intent to reunify Taiwan to mainland China. Chinese President Xi Jinping has declared that the reunification, of Taiwan and the Chinese mainland is a historical inevitability. That is to say that it will happen no matter what. And the U.S. has made it clear that if China were to attempt this, there would be conflict. According to Reuters, Xi made the comments as the island prepares to hold contentious parliamentary and presidential elections. The reunification of the motherland is a historical inevitability, Xi said in his New Year's address on Sunday, according to a translation by a news agency. Patriots on both sides of the Taiwan Strait should be bound by a common sense of purpose and share in the glory of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, he added. An official translation by a state news outlet, Xinhua, used simpler phrasing, quoting Xi as saying, China will surely be reunified, and all Chinese on both sides of the Taiwan Strait should be bound by a common sense of purpose. Xi made a shorter reference to unification during last year's message, stating only that people on both sides of the Taiwan Strait are members of one and the same family. However, Taiwan is set to hold presidential and parliamentary elections in mid-January. And opinion polls currently show Vice President Lai Ching-te of the ruling Democratic Party, DVP, in the lead for the presidency. Lai has described himself as a worker for Taiwanese independence, while Beijing views him as a destroyer of peace across the Taiwan Strait, because he's basically a hindrance in the process, so to speak, for China's intent, China's endeavor of reunifying Taiwan to itself. Pardon me, according to China's Taiwan Affairs Office. Taiwan has governed itself since nationalist forces led by Chiang Kai-shek fled to the island in 1949 after they lost a civil war to the communists. Beijing's official position is that it will strive to peacefully reunify the island with the Chinese mainland, while reserving the right to use military force if necessary. Xi made no mention of military force in his New Year's speech. Last month, the Chinese government clarified that the Declaration of Independence by Taipei means war. In 1971, the UN recognized the government in Beijing as the legitimate government of China, leading to many countries removing their recognition of Taiwan. Since 1972, the U.S. has accepted, but not endorsed, Beijing's position that there is but one China and that Taiwan is a part of China. So the Lord continues to set the stage so that when things do flare even more out of control, so to speak, we'll be seeing a lot of more proxy wars across the globe. Okay? All roads, though, leads to the global introduction and subsequent mandation of the MOTB, followed by the Third World War, which will soon come after. It's right now the Third World War is being built up, okay, through these various proxy wars. After all, war is a process, and things start small and then eventually they grow big and then they get out of control. So this has just been another in the news report. Before I conclude the lesson, Abaradza, it has been edifying. Let's reread 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse start at 2. It says, "Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes," and we just read of a recent earthquake event in Japan, and uproars of the people in the world, and uproars have been happening all last year and still are going on in the world. "Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, spake of those things through the mouth of his prophets, from the days that were before thee, even is Old English, for which is from the beginning," because the prophets have always been around from the beginning. "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, and the end is manifest." We are clearly living in the latter days of the latter days. The end is here. The end is now. Even so, the times also of the highest, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. So, as the beginning had plain, had wonderful and powerful works, so will the end have effects and signs. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying and informative. This has been another in the news. Shalom to the elect.